What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Welcome. Just finished cooking some tomato soup. It's a storm coming here. That's right. I roasted the tomatoes. I put a little cream in it, the seasonings. Yes, your girl be cooking. So, long and story short, this is a very important topic to me. I wanted to kick it off right. A lot of times, and full disclaimer, many times I share things on the community wall and people say, hey, just share me the link. Just tell me the stock. Just tell me the this. Just tell me the that. And what you guys don't understand is the way YouTube works and the way a lot of media is going. You can't do that. Not without disclaimer, not without certifications. You could just say, this is my opinion. This is something I invest in. This is something I think about. It's very tricky out here. So this is why we offer the live trainings. This is why we talk about things in the way we do. Drop your city and state in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me. My biggest thing today is Nick Saban's on his way out. Now, what do I mean by that? His old school way of thinking is out the door. Okay. It's out the door. It's a new era of sports. Financial industry will be a 10x. When I told y'all a couple years ago, and I've been saying it nonstop, is Grant Cardone will be a billionaire and Dave Ramsey will be a billionaire. Why do I keep saying that? We have a whole generation. Let's just be honest. Since 1950s, since they took home ec, accounting, many of these things out of high school, your average everyday person does not understand math. They don't understand math. They don't understand accounting. They don't understand, I have this much check. Deduct from this much check. They don't. Right? We have a very credit system that's different than anywhere else in the world. We have people fighting to come to our shore, if nothing for just the business status to use for credit cards, and then they go somewhere else. This is why you'll see the number of millionaires, I think it said quadruple, but they won't all be people who are going to stay here or be here or even want to deal with America, right? So again, back on topic for you guys. Why is this new era sports? The other day I posted about no more little hood stories, no more little sleeping on the floor. We're freezing to death. My single mom and I went to the gym and played basketball every day till I got that contract. And that's why I got all this money. Those stories are going away. And analysts are saying this. This is not just me, because someone had all kind of, well, she doesn't know anything about sports. Not telling you. I'm from a cop family, a military family. We've had over 15 cousins play high level sports. We had 2 have offers to go play Canadian Bowl and go try out on practice teams, etc., etc. I can go all over the place with this. I know what I'm talking about. And one of the biggest things that's going to come in this era is a lot of people making money off people that look like me or you, because they don't have any financial literacy. It's going to be 10x worse than what it currently is. And what do I mean by that? You have NLI money in the mix, but we aren't teaching these kids about taxes. We're not walking them through a lot of the process. So these kids are getting $100, $500, $1,000 for Instagram posts. And then now they got to know, hey, you got to pay taxes on that money, because 1, you don't have a business, and 2, you're not structured properly. And 3, I mean, like, this thing's going to go down a rabbit hole. And so I use Nick Saban as the perfect example of someone like, you shall not pass. Nick Saban's making $20 million a year off these kids. But when these kids come and say, look, I don't care about the Dodge Charger. I don't care about the Hellcat. I don't care about the car. I need money. I'm living in poverty. My family's living in poverty. I need money. And my body, which you guys, this saying has been said multiple times, you're not getting a contract on the quality of your play. Let me be careful how I say this. You're asking for these big lumps of money because you will be hurt. There is no other sport like football and basketball where there are 300-pound, 280-pound men running into each other, knocking each other down, hitting each other in the head, hitting each other in the legs, you name it. The condition of your body by the time you do 3 to 4 years is going to be horrible. You may not feel it that first couple of years, but you're going to feel it about 35, 39. Look at all the interviews of these guys, 35 to about 42. They look horrible unless they're on great financial care, health, drinking water, strawberries, whatever, right? They don't look well, health-wise or mentally wise. They just had our interview where the guy was 39 years old saying he forgets stuff daily. He forgets stuff all the time. He's struggling, and he's 39. So what if this guy lives another 30 years? What kind of care will his family have for him? So I am your biggest proponent on this earth for paying these college sports kids. I watch my family members Get up from sun up to sundown and practice and lift weights and go eat and go barely be in class and barely could be awake in class because they were so exhausted, physically and mentally exhausted. And then you turn around and look at them and tell them, oh, well, you're getting a free education. What's the free education when you're half sleeping every class for the next 4 years because your body's so exhausted? What's a degree when you get to the 5th year of your playing eligibility and they tell you don't have enough to graduate? Y'all, this is a system. And I want every kid that has a lick of sense and a cell phone and can hear me to be able to be paid from it. And I want you, if you're on the other side of that, to also be paid. Now, there's a big thing you guys been seeing me talk about. Steven Crowder, right? And everybody's like, oh, Ericka, why you keep talking about this? And it's important. I have to talk about it because you guys there's stuff going right past your face and you're not noticing. So this is our new site right here. This is new. If you guys see me put links in here, it's it's just classyclimb.com, right? It's keeping it simple, right? Very sleek, very simple. You have questions about our trips to Zanzibar, Panama. There you go. You want to find out about investing in real estate overseas or investing in real estate locally. We have a mastermind that's going to come up and be in here. An inner circle also is going to be in here later this summer, but no time soon, right? Again, I told y'all I'm going on an extensive break all of March. I'll be in Hawaii and Panama. And then February, I'll be gone half the time too, because we have lots of big construction projects that require our full time. We're going in a big direction, but I want to definitely leave you guys with some great courses and some great stuff on my way out the door, because I think that's important. So again, if you guys see this link, this is this website. Hope you enjoy it. Let me go into my next one I had for y'all. Okay, so first of all, do y'all understand that this is a business? Right? I really started talking to people and I realized, do you understand this is a $1 billion business? NLI money last year made, I got it in here. It's $1 billion. 1 year of NLI was a $1 billion industry by itself. So let me go to Nick Saban first. And I'm going to, and this is a good example for me to lead this 2 ways. I hope y'all understand. NLI in its first year was $1 billion industry. Just one more time, just got to get y'all to understand that they made $1 billion off these kids in just 1 year. 1 year. Okay. All right. Yeah, literally, I watched my family members just absolutely, we'd come see them. They'd be like, almost like a zombie. We're talking to them. They're half asleep. And this is before the game. And then after the game, we're like talking to them. They're just about to fall asleep at the table, eating mashed potatoes with us. You're literally asking a person to 24/7 be a semi-pro athlete. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. All right. So, let me go here. And this is the first one. Now, there's twofold for this website. This is Outkick. And I don't know if you guys heard me talk about this before, but there's this massive amount. Let's just go here first. If you're in my digital real estate classes, when I tell you, if you're a man and you just want to talk sports or you want to do a collection of articles, you want to do a collection of stuff, this is what Outkick started out as. So we saw the whole mess with Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire. Outkick is the Daily Wire on a smaller level. See, they come into you talking about sports. Yeah, man, sports. But and they got all the marketing on the side, the Google ads everywhere. But here's the kicker. You start looking up here. Well, what's going on? Culture, right? They branched out to talk about what? Hot button topics. Hot button topics. I'm trying to say it the right way, right? So then you keep going, analyst. You see Donald Trump. You're like, wait a minute. Talking about Donald Trump and black people. What are they doing on this? Right? You're going to keep going. It gets more. You go shows. Outkick with Clay Travis. This is the main show. But did you know they had all these other shows? Right? They become their own what, you guys? Outkick bets. Talking about sports betting. Right? This one talks about United States. Again, if you're serious about digital real estate and you say, Ericka, I want to pull 25 to 40,000 a month out of here. I'm like, baby, I can show you. Okay. If you're in my class, we'll do another live training. I think the 10th of February, pretty much the next series of trainings are like the 9th of February, 10th, 11th. That's it. Then I pretty much go on vacation because I'll be in Grant Cardinal's 10X in Las Vegas. But if you really want to make 30, 40, 50K a month, you can. You can literally give people shows, them 360 deals. This is Tommy Lauren. I don't know if y'all remember her. She was big on Fox News and all stuff, but now she was what? She works for Outkick. Think about that. She in another 360 deal, doing videos online. They're paying for the studio time. They're doing all this stuff. They're pumping her up. And guess what? They're going to make that money off this girl as long as she can be semi popular. As you can see, they took her down from Fox. She went from DeBlaze. Now she's out here, okay? Underneath their tutelage, doing a show Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. Y'all, this industry, if y'all could understand what I'm trying so hard to show you. Let me see. Is it showing? Oh, it's not showing hers. Let me go one more time. Let me go one more time. There you go. Damn, they sold? They sold those Fox Sports that fast? Well, there you go. They sold to Fox Sports. Thank you for the notification. Well, it started out them having their little own Daily Wire, but man, if that's true, man, that is cool. All right. Listen, K Diggity, if you're gonna come in here and argue, we don't need it. But I hear what you're saying. It's $1 billion industry. All right, so here we go. Let me kick this off. Let me take this off the screen. Okay. Just for my digital real estate students, if they understood that what I just showed them, cool. If they didn't, that's fine. They probably did, probably during COVID. That would have made sense at the time. But basically, that whole Daily Wire argument where they're going off about he only offered me $50 million. Honey, the money's out here. The money's out here for these websites, these blogs that y'all think don't make no money no more. There's money's out here. So this is why we're doing this show. Alabama's Nick Saban rejected two players who were searching for $1.3 million combined in NIL money. Let's be very clear. Nick Saban makes $20 million a year. Alabama is notoriously known for the past 20 years gifting them through gifts, watches, cars, clothes, $50,000 cars, Hummers, all kind of crap. This has been notoriously known for the past 20 years. But when they come to you and they say, man, I need real money that can feed my family, money that can take care of me. Oh, no, get the hell out of here, kid. I'm not giving you no money. Not no real money. We're going to give you trinkets. Think about that. Someone with the best corners in the nation in high school came to me and asked if we'd pay $800,000 for the player to sign here. I told him he can find another place to play. And don't worry, that kid will get that money. Let me be very careful. That kid, there is a school. Listen, I don't know if you guys have been watching the whole Deion Sanders thing. I don't know if you guys been checking that out. Of course, a lot of people have. Some people feel whatever type of way. Deion Sanders came in that room and all the kids at that Colorado's college that had sponsorship to be there, they were the size of high school students. There was only one kid that looked like a grown adult in that whole room. So when you say they lost 11 games in a row, how? The kids were not the size of the semi-pro players we got out here right now. They could never play against Alabama. They'd be crushed. Right? So with that being said, there is a school that will pay because they're going to change the whole program around with it. Now Texas, he's got 9. He's got 9 between him and his kids. It's 9 different YouTube channels, but that's all digital real estate. We've talked about it. So again, here's Nick Saban making $20 million a year, telling somebody off a 50-person roster they can't get some money. It's insane. This is why the system is not working anymore. And this is why he's under that old school thinking like these kids getting a free education. They should be glad. Nah, man. And he's like, the NCAA needs more ways and means to control it because it's getting out of hand. It's only been out 1 year. He's just against that. He's completely against it. Again, Saban later added that he lost 10 players, including a starter, to the portal already. One of them wanted $500,000 and for us to get his girlfriend into law school at Alabama and pay for it. I showed him the door. Let me be very clear. Don't worry. That girl and that boy are going to be somewhere and some school's going to be like, oh, you need her to get in law school? Okay, let's go find a minority scholarship for her. Get her through the door. Don't worry about it. We got you. Y'all, this is a game. This is a $1 billion industry. Trust me. Some people said he didn't mention any names, but people think he's talking about Javon Cohen, who transferred to Miami. It don't matter where these kids went. If he doesn't want to play ball, it doesn't matter. Again, he went off talking about Texas A&M and all these other schools. The best competitive balance is to have it like the NFL. They have rules. They have salary caps. Yada yada. Listen, stop. If I'm a bunking school in the middle of nowhere and I have $50,000 for each kid, that's all I got, and I can help them go get it and help them shape it up and go make sure they got money in their pocket, I'm gonna get whatever kids I can get, even if it's local country kids from rural areas that just need some money. I'm gonna have a squad. I'm gonna have some type of squad. So this type of thinking of like, how dare these kids want money? These kids, on average, 90% of these kids are not gonna play in the future. They're not gonna play on NFL anywhere. Thousands of football teams, they're not going to play in the NFL. And then out of the percentage that do go, again, Deion Sanders have talked about this a lot, but again, you have to understand, you're coaching kids who are going to play their best, injure themselves possibly, and that's all they're going to get out of this is the glory and the stories. And to be able to walk around with all this merch that they give them, right? They give them a bunch of school merch and t-shirts and stuff they worked out in that stinks, right? Again, I can go article after article after article on this thing. Again, Nick Saban, Alabama players made over $3 million in NIL deals last year because he realized the Tide was like, no, we don't like what you're saying, Nick. We don't like it. You're disrespecting this new energy. You're disrespecting it, right? You're not doing it right. Okay, so here, let me show you this one. Well, they made $3 million. Nick Saban, you make $20 million a year. 3 million divided by, let's go ahead and get the little calculator here. Let's just be honest, right? Not all players got that money, but let's just go there. Okay. And there's 185 people here. Least thing y'all can do is hit the like button. So $3 million divided by 53 people on a roster. We're just doing that for the sake of an argument. Again, it may be smaller numbers than that. Y'all can correct me. That's 56,000 per player. That's if everybody got a little check. Everybody didn't get a check, and y'all already know why. Why am I talking about this? Why does this matter to me? Why is this such a big deal? Hey, they lost Bryce Young. He had $1 million in marketing. The kid that's at University of Texas right now had $1 million deal. That's why he went all the way to Ohio. And they were like, baby, you ain't playing. You here, but you ain't playing. So he went and came back to where? University of Texas. Right? Oh, he's a big salty hater now. He's the biggest salty hater right now. It don't even make no sense. All right. 95 of them will never see an NFL field unless they buy a ticket. 90. So you're telling this kid to wear their body out? You guys, listen. I get it. We're talking about NLI money. Please stop correcting me as I talk. Y'all got to wear me out. 95% of them will never see an NFL field. Never. So you're telling me this kid who's got 4 years of nice time. Now there's some players, again, the guy that just won for Georgia, he's 26 or 27. He's old, 25. And you got a lot of these players who can extend it out really crazy long time. But at the end of the day, most of them are going to be there for 4 years. And if they get lucky, a 5 redshirt year, they transfer to somewhere else, or different ways in the journey, or they go get on a practice team, right? Yeah. How much money did NCAA athletes get screwed out of? From video games in 1990s and 2000s. How did, what's his name? Reggie Bush. All these young kids, when it was just starting to turn the tide, get in trouble for signing autographs, receiving merch. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Okay. Yeah, Saban's stuck in his ways. He's going to, for the next 3 years, if Saban keeps marching to the drum of like, bump you and some NLI money, these athletes are going to go somewhere else. Like, it's nice if I could play for Alabama. It'd be nice, but guess what? If you just saw my thumbnail, the boy is from literally down the street from me, Joshua Williams, not related, in Fayetteville, North Carolina, went to Jack Brett High School, my same high school, went to Fayetteville State, the local historical Black college, and is now on what? The Kansas City Chiefs. The other dude, same story. The other dude is from, one of them was out of Greensboro, went to A&T, North Carolina. The other guy, closing my head. But long and the story short is they kept feeding into this lie that, oh, you're at a historical Black college. No one's going to find you. No one's going to be looking for you. No one's going to be recruiting you. That's a lie. These kids are going to make a lot of money. It doesn't, it depends on the school you go to and yada, yada. Yes, do some schools get a lot more light and shine? And can someone help slide you through the door and push you through because they got connections? Heck yeah. But at the end of the day, does that family have video on that kid? I don't know if you guys remember the movie that just came out with Adam Sandler. It was like Hustle, and he was a scouter looking for talent. And I promise you, that's how people look. They look like regular everyday people at a game, watching the game. They ain't there with nobody's kids, just looking, right? The funny thing is, I went to an event and there was a talent show, and I was getting ready to record my friend, so I was setting my camera up, right? Just a nice little small setup on the little desk, like a little, not a GoPro, but a real camera. And this parent saw me recording, came over. I thought they were gonna say, "Hey, stop recording my kid," because this kid was 15 and could sing. She was like, "Hey, my name is da da da." Gave me the business card and was like, "Are you a scout? Are you looking for music talent?" I just started laughing for a second to myself, like, "Oh, they think I'm a scout. They think I'm someone here looking for music people." And I looked at how I was dressed compared to all my friends. I'm like, "Oh yeah, you do kind of stand out. You don't know who's in the audience and you don't know who's recording. As long as somebody's got some good video on your kid, you can get out there. Okay, you can get out there. All right." There you go. Listen, I was a freshman when I'm saying the name wrong, broke his leg during the game. My senior year, he was working at Regions on campus. I hated that for him. Yeah, imagine if he could have got played. If he could have got paid, even if for a little while. Again, these same kids you will see in some of these small local towns, they will literally be at the car dealership in a commercial. They'll be going to different events because some booster wants them there. Y'all, this is a whole game. This is a whole racket. Why aren't these kids being properly paid? Look at who's being the old guard blocking the door. Now, I'm not just going to complain over and over about kids not getting paid. That's not my whole schneal here. I definitely want to show y'all the money that's made out of it and how you guys can be on that, can really like put yourself in the right way. Because this is what's going to happen. A lot of these kids are going to get money. It's going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? And there's going to be a lot of taxes where people did not know the right way to do things, how to pay things. This is what's coming down the door. I promise you. All these IRS agents, they're not just coming for wealthy business owners. They're coming for everybody, right? Talent will be found. They found Jerry Rice at Mississippi Valley State and Josh Allen at Wyoming. Exactly. There's somebody who's willing to, for their company. Hold on a second. There's somebody for their company who's willing to go and fly and travel like Adam Sandler did in that movie, right? And I'm telling you, they're willing to do that. Now, here's something I wanted to bring up. People, you saw Jalen Hurts. Let me see if I can pull this woman up. So, y'all seen Jalen Hurts's agent, right? Because people say, "What does that matter?" I want you to see Jalen Hurts' agent because so many people had a little bit of issue with that agent. But I want to make it very clear. It's not a black white thing. I'm just going to tell you. Here's the haters, right? Jalen's agent's like, "Hey, people didn't want him there. They didn't want him in Philly." And she's like, "This is the industry. The system didn't want him there." And I was like, why does she keep saying that, right? This was a big thing for her. She kept telling people, "Hey, I'm getting a lot of pushback and trying to get my athlete out here." So here, you roll down. Someone told me it was the system. Her name is Nicole Lynn. Let me show you what Nicole Lynn looks like. Oh, see if I can pull it up. If it'll pull it up. Hold on a second. It's tripping. Hold on. Let me get there. I'm gonna get there, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Thank you. Yeah, here she is. So Jalen Hurts has an all-woman team, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's so cutting edge. That's so interesting." Here you go. Sorry for the delay. Okay, so Jalen Hurts. This is Sports Illustrated. This is Jalen Hurts' agent, y'all. That was getting all this pushback. You see Jalen done cut the dreads. He looking nice and sharp and clean. And look at her. What does she look like, y'all? She's hitting it from multiple angles. She's a woman. She's a brown woman, and she doesn't blame any of that. But you guys know it's a system of people making money off these kids. She said it went like this. People had doubts on me. People still have doubts on me. Now, why would they have doubts on this player? Right? Did he not fit their system? Was it because their friend wasn't the one who recommended him? Their friend wasn't the one who had the agent contract? Their friends weren't the ones who were getting money out the deal? Is this why all of a sudden, yeah, I don't know about that kid? I mean, he is an all-female team. I don't know if that even makes sense. Who better? Who better because he has an agent who's a woman. He has a media relations to marketing to brand client services support. It's all women, right? Lynn, Chattel Romaine, an Indian lady, another lady. These are all his team, along with Rachel Everett, right? Now, what's again? Look at his team. Think about it. What am I saying here? This is the new face. This is the new face of Mondays. These people are not ready. This is a new face of money. The team is black. The marketing agents are black. They're all women. Now, if I was a Jewish man and I'm your agent, ain't I gonna tell you about my friend who's gonna be your PR guy? Ain't I gonna tell you about your client relations who's gonna be another Jewish guy? Ain't I gonna tell you about another guy over here that's gonna be? We're gonna be in the same pockets. No one ever asked, how come all these players keep going broke? It's the same brokers, the same people. So now they say they have doubts on a man who's highly qualified. The doubts aren't for his talents, it's for his team. I want you to understand that the doubts are not for his talent, it's for his team. Who are these people breaking in the door with this massively talented young man? Who's their connection? How did they find him? Yada, yada, yada. Listen, my biggest thing I can tell y'all out of this, there are rules to the game, for sure, for sure. There's a lot of doors everybody ain't gonna be able to go in through if you don't got money, if you don't got some credit, some good stuff, you know what I mean? You're not gonna be able to do, right? So I want you to understand there's all kind of certificates and programs right now that are free to help you become certified to work with these kids. And I've shared them with most of my friends. There's parents for the guys. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're, let's say you say, Ericka, I like what you're talking about. I'd love to work with the kids, man. I'd love to work with the kids. And Nick Saban asking for $500,000, these kids asking for $500,000 is nothing. Because if we could get them set up properly with $500,000 at 15% interest returns, you're talking about $75,000 a year coming in their pocket till they want to make a different decision. 30% turns are absolutely possible. $150,000 a year going in their pocket. You're talking about young people who need guidance and structural protection. Again, I'm teaching a class coming up February 9th on how to get 15 to 30% returns and all the things that I invest in. Again, y'all have to understand with the way YouTube works, you can't just come out here and say, yeah, put your money here. Let me share this stock with you. Let me tell you this thing I hit. You can't do that. It don't work that way. It's a lot of disclaimer. Why do you think all these guys are getting in trouble for the crypto right now? They're in trouble for the crypto. Okay. So again, they're not mad with this man's talent. They're mad with his team. I don't know who his team is. I can't control these kids. Nick Saban's angry. I can't control these kids because people are going to recruit them and let them know they have value and they can come to their school. Now, here's my two ways I want to say this. And I talked about nepotism and how this is what I want y'all to understand. His parents, his father's a coach. Okay. We already know that. Jalen Hurts' father is a coach. He's there in the picture. You know, you see ESPN ain't really doing no shows on him because what? His daddy ain't been in jail. Ain't no thug. Ain't no crazy person. You saw Patrick Mahomes' daddy up there looking like Smoke Crack Jr. at the game, high as a kite. They made sure to interview his daddy looking like that. But let me just go here. Once you get past this information in your head, that all you need is LLC, a business bank account, a couple business credit cards, you're in the game. You're in the game. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you two strategies. There's the two strategies. You're either aiming for the parents or you're aiming for the kids. Let's say you're in South Carolina and you know South Carolina builds some big old kids, same with Florida, and you're in a mile radius, just 100-mile radius. You want parents to know you're the person for NLI. You're you give free teaching, you do a free speech somewhere, you have a staff help you with the phone, they answer phones, you can use some VAs from Philippines, whatever, right? Hey, you are the guy on that information. And what happens? Those parents are coming to you for information, right? And those parents are gonna be more likely what? To sign contracts or work with you. What did Gary Vee do 10 years ago before all this even started? He made Gary Vayner sports with his brother. And they were like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get these players out here and they're going to speak in front of high schools and colleges. And we're going to make sure each player gets like 5 to 10K in their pocket a month. And everybody was like, oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, Gary Vaynerchuk. That's dumb. Who would do that? Don't you know that's a colleges set outside millions of dollars for speakers? So now Gainer Vaynerchuk's getting those kids speaking 3 or 4 times. Not him, his team, his staff, his brother. It's really his brother's company more so. They're your media. They're your PR. They're getting you in nice articles. They're getting you in good commercials. Now they're taking a piece of that money all the way. Don't get twisted. But that's all that was. That became them telling you, hey, I can get you 5 to 10K in your pocket a month. What's the hottest thing right now on this internet when you see ads? Hey, I'm so and so, and I can get you 5 to 10K in your pocket every month. That's that's the hottest ad. Hey man, this is Ericka. I can teach you about this and get 5 to 10K in your pocket every month. People on average make what? Less than $4,000 a month. You got 75 million Americans making less than 30K a year. So you come to these kids talking, I can get you 5 to 10K a month. All that kid heard is, dang, I can make like 60K a year, 100K a year while I'm playing sports. It's an easy layup. Easy layup. So again, you got to aim for the parents, you got to aim for the kids, right? Now, prime example of nepotism. The reason I brought up Jalen Hurts having both his parents is I talked about Roger Goodell. He was at the Deion Sanders game and he hugged the kid. And of course, the cameras was all up on it because, like, who this kid he hugging like this? It was his nephew. Roger Goodell's family adopted a black, his brother, sister, whoever adopted a black child. The kid was playing at Jackson State University. Now, many people said in the comments, oh, Ericka, please. He can't get him on a team. And I almost laughed off the internet because I said, y'all don't know how nepotism works. If you don't think the NFL commissioner can get his nephew a practice start somewhere on somebody's practice team, you're joking yourselves. Now, if you don't think, let's skip the practice team. Let's say the kid gets hurt. Let's say he don't want to play football no more. Let's say anything happens. You don't think that son going to Jackson State University, then being in the NFL, working under the commissioner in some capacity, even if it's a work yourself up from the ground job, you don't think he won't have top-notch connections to do what? He can either be kids' representatives. He can do a bunch of stuff. He can go be an agent. You know, again, don't just take my word for it. A great show y'all should watch that if you want to get some laughs out of is called The Game, right? It was on CW, you know, right? Where shows make a lot of money, then they sell them off. And they came back with The Game again because it was just so popular. It was like a cult classic. It was so popular. They were like, we got to bring it back. And what made me laugh about it is the show literally told you step by step all the problems in the industry. They literally were showing you behind the scenes, but also making it funny, right? They're showing you all this, you know, look how stressful this is. He's funny. Oh, these games. Even if you look at the Rock show, Ballers, right? People like, oh, that's ridiculous. It's inappropriate. Ballers are doing too much. I don't know if y'all can see my screen that well. But again, even some of the show's names are New Whip, Same Chains, Reshuffling the Deck, White Party, White People, White Lives. The Diva went down to Georgia. Every bit of this show, and if you go look at the previous, the first rendition of the game, when it first came out, everything is like, oh man, you don't belong here. You don't fit here. You don't you don't play golf well. You don't go into associations. You don't, what are you doing here? You're representing your own son? That's crazy. You're not specialized. You're not licensed. Again, y'all, I read the thing today and it talked about in South Carolina, you could pass being a lawyer by just going, you went to lawyer school, boom, hey, you're a lawyer. When they had a series of about 100, 200 black people slide through the door getting a law degree, they were like, hold on there, buddy. We need a bar. Y'all just ain't gonna slide through here and represent yourselves and defend yourselves in court. No, we need a bar. I want you to understand, when people start realizing, oh, the people that we thought were liquid money that don't know no better for themselves, will never know any better for themselves, they're starting to wake up and realize they can play the game too. Oh, we got a problem. Oh, wow, it's a big problem now. We got people who know their worth, money, valuable, can parlay some investments. Oh, wow. Right? I think Diamond Dave said the other day, you know, Disneyland doesn't work unless, I think it's like 70,000 to 100,000 people sign up to work these low-paying jobs at Disneyland. It don't work. They do college internships. They do all kind of stuff. It don't work if they're not there though. If the people you thought should be there aren't there, well, how does Disneyland work? It's a very how do we make money off these kids when these kids realize they are the money? How do we make money off of them? Rich Paul, that's right, in Clutch Sports. When people start seeing, oh, all I got to do is get a few certificates and I can call myself this, no problem. In a day or two, I will also have a certificate that I am NLI certified. Okay. Oh, the United States about to change passport fees and rules. You already know. When I meet people who don't have a passport, I'm like, you don't have nothing to get out of here. Okay. Good luck. Good luck, baby. That's crazy. So let me see if I can pull this up real quick for y'all. There's countless trainings on how to work with students, but I'm not going to go through too many of them. But I'm going to go here. And the reason I'm talking about this is you guys have to understand that, like, again, it's just you talking to these kids. And if you put yourself in the right way, can you get on the phone? Can you make phone calls? Can you hire people underneath you who, if you aren't the phone call person, they are the phone call person? Can you run a website? Can you run all these things in sports? Sports is a multi-billion-dollar industry. 1 year of NLI becoming a billion-dollar industry. A year ago today, college sports changed forever. Thousands of athletes have been available to benefit from the NLI. The industry can jump from $917 million to 1.14 billion in the second year. Why? Because let's go there. These TV shows, these movies, they got all this marketing. Y'all not falling for it. Y'all only on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. So what they gonna use? They gonna use these kids with half a million followers, 300,000 followers, 200,000. They gonna use them, put them in position to do what? Promote and market products, pay them a little bit of money. The kids 18 to 20, so they're just like, oh my God, you gave me $3,000. I'm rich. To promote something, right? And they don't realize it. So again, let's just go ahead and do this. Everything's better in the Power Five. In year two, the total Division I compensation could average $3,195 per athlete. But top earners will generally continue to come from the FBS conferences. Power Five compensation can reach $607 million. That's about $16,000 per athlete. Now, y'all know it's not going to every athlete. Let's just keep it simple. Group of Five compensation could reach $148 million or $5,000 per athlete. Of the schools with the most robust NLI ecosystems, Open Doors found 35% of all compensation comes from donors. Let me put it back again for y'all. Of the schools with the most robust NLI ecosystems, Open Doors found 35% of all compensation comes from donors, an unsurprising development, giving the rise of NLI collectives. I mean, we can't believe these donors. These boosters are giving these kids money. Oh, wait, these boosters might stop giving the school money and give it directly to the kids. We can't have that. Oh my God, we can't have it. We can't have it. Now, this is my problem with Nick Saban. These same people, okay, dig in their pockets, absolutely dig in their pockets and find these kids Range Rovers, Dodge Cats, and Hummers and motorcycles and all kind of silly stuff. Right? All kind of silly stuff. Right? But they can't find the money to give these kids actual money. Why do you think that is? They lose control once they connect what? The donors, the sponsors to the kids. They lose control. Again, me and my friend are former coaches. We laugh at coaches crying because they can't lie to these kids anymore. Give me what's old or I transferred out. I fucking love it. Let me read that again, Mark Ledford. Me and my friend are former coaches. We laugh at coaches crying because they can't lie to these kids anymore. Give me what I'm owed or I transfer out. Yeah. That's what it is. It's a competition. You are competing for the best 4 years of my life. Whatever, you want to say it. I don't know if he teaches on it. I know he got NLI certified on some deals too. I'm not certain. I know I did. So again, I'm going to throw it in my live trainings just because I think it's important for you guys to see that information. They tried to cancel Rich Paul real bad. Oh man, they tried to cancel him real bad. But this is what I'm saying. If you're some guy who's the South Carolina NLI specialist and you start marketing and you start running ads. Hey, got a kid getting ready to go play for college? Come meet me, Jeff, down here. Jeff's blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, parents are gonna come for the free conversation. They're gonna come to figure out, okay, well, how does this help? How can I get this access? What do I need to do? Again, I went to NBA Summer League and I was laughing because I had never been. And I went with somebody and I was like, this is amazing, right? But I looked over to my left and this was like 50 to 60 adults with gear, clothes, and colors of the Carolina Hornets, right? The Charlotte Hornets, sorry. And I was like, is them all coaches? They can't all be that's a lot of coaches. They're not. Some of them are staff, with the quotation mark staff. Okay. So you got 50, 60 staff members over here at an NBA Summer League, scouting talent, also talking, also watching the games, also making notes, also like, is this player worth keeping, and da da da, all that stuff. Right? Okay. So you're sitting here with tons of people who have what? Access to these athletes. So if you're going to be a guy or girl who thinks, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start talking to these kids about NLI, you need to be setting yourself up like a real business. You got to see some of these people, recruiters, they come to people's house and they buy a dinner, they buy a barbecue sandwich, they gift in Starbucks gift cards. Everybody ain't got that, but you need to know if you want to talk to these kids, you might need to, right? Somebody said the same thing they did in the music industry. They gave them cars and kept on money. Yeah, I think that thing, Cadillac Records, they're buying these people Cadillacs that's from poor nowhere Mississippi, poor nowhere Tennessee mountains, North Carolina mountains, with one suit. And they're like, here's a Cadillac. Holy crap, a Cadillac? And then they're sitting there with a Cadillac and their one bag of clothes, traveling all over the world, making this music industry tons of money, not knowing the whole freaking time they done made millions off you. And that's what's happening. They can't lie to these kids anymore. They see the math. Right? Again, we're coming up on a generation. Again, it's a class-based thing, but I told y'all the nepotism you about to see is going to be off the charts. When I talk to you about basketball and football, and people are like, oh, Ericka, you don't know what you're talking about. There's always going to be so many kids from the hood. I show you article after article where they're analyzing all these sports camps, these traveling sports camps, these little, travel leagues. By the time your kid gets to high school and possibly could go to college, there's some kid they've been grooming in the summers off courses and classes and teaching them how to talk to recruiters and how to talk to colleges and how to act like they got some sense. They've been training that kid. So you're telling me they're going to skip that kid right there that they don't put money, time, and effort and energy to, and go to your kid who don't know how to act on social media and TikTok, who out here on Instagram jeopardizing his career, out here jeopardizing his time? No, they're not going to do that. They're going to skip that. All them hood stories where people are unpredictable, they don't know what to do with them, they're going to skip some of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, again, I'm showing article after article, right? And she's talking about, we know you're just making up the article. Exactly. That's why I keep showing. I'm showing article after article after article, showing you the numbers, the data. They're not playing with them little kids from the hood no more. When they can get former basketball player, da 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 da, his son. Look at him. Haha. It's a great marketing. It's great marketing. Again, did you watch the NBA draft? And they were joking, calling it the mulatto draft. I don't care, be who you be with. But every person was a former basketball player with a white wife. Person after person after person after person. So you telling me in a draft where there's hundreds of kids, we just happen to see hundreds of former basketball players with their wives over and over again? No, that's how that's going to be. From here on out, it's going to be generational. Oh, this is the third generation of, oh, this is his son doing this. Y'all, that's how that's going to be. In basketball for sure. And then it'll be eventually football as well. Right? You literally are trying to tell people in advance, like, they're not going to be just, let me go pick up poor little Susie from Buckeye Nowhere, Ohio, with no teeth. Now they're not doing that no more. There's a set of twin girls. They're blonde. They play volleyball in the Midwest, in Michigan somewhere. They got $1 million. They were the first people to receive NLI. 2 white girls in Michigan, blonde hair, blue-eyed girls in Michigan. Don't let your son or your community or the kids that you interact with miss out on this money because they don't have the right polishing and they don't have the right set of parents and they don't have the knowledge. So I'm just saying, again, Nick Saban's that old, these kids should be happy to just even play. That mindset is gone. These kids know their knees are going to hurt. They know their body's going to hurt. So here it is, lower division opportunities. Division 2 will see $35 million in NLI compensation, around $338 per athlete, which is very low. Division 3, $58 million. Now people say, well, aren't these athletes just going to go play for the bigger schools? We don't have enough slots for all the kids to go play for bigger schools. They're going to find millions of ways for these kids to be like, oh, he's promoting a car dealership. That's cool. He can get paid from that. That's cool. Oh, he's promoting t-shirts off his Instagram. That's cool. Exactly. Michael Jordan had to serve food at basketball camp so he could stay. They couldn't afford it. Do y'all understand? One of the greatest, right? Oh, they'd have just found him, Ericka, because he's so great. The way they're locking this thing in, it's going to be certain people we see on TV, certain look, a certain style, a certain way they talk to the camera. Will you always have a few flashy hood kids that slide through? Sure. Just off pure animal talent, like the best of the best of the best. Sure. But this massive whop of kids, they're going to be, nah, they got nothing for them. Right? No more Met World Peace. No more Dennis Rodmans. No, they ain't got time for any more Dennis Rodmans. This is a huge issue in soccer. See, you got to look around the world. This stuff is already happening. Soccer has all these wealthy families coming in, and then you see these like players that done scrambled up from nowhere. They're like, look, I found this player. And they're like, oh, see, look how great that soccer is. It helps everybody. Even the poor people can play. They're like, wait a minute, but isn't the rest of the league like millionaire family people? Hold on a second. So I bring this up because you're already seeing it in other parts of the world. Europe League. Your kid don't even finish high school. Look at Luca. Had this kid at 12, 14 playing with grown men. Big old kid. They're already doing it in Europe. Right? Baseball now has camps in pretty much every one of those little countries you can think of. Dominican Republic, Panama, all of them. You name all them little island countries, Haiti, everywhere. They got a team teaching and coaching kids so they can say enough in English at the interview and hit this ball. I want you to understand that. Okay? The moms were, that's right. The moms were college athlete themselves, like Stephen Curry. And oh, there you go. There you go. Thank you. These aren't athletes that played in the park. These are highly specialized, had a private coach since they were 8 type of kids. You're going to be priced out of sports. You're going to be out of there. You're going to be out of there. You're going to be out of there. LeBron James, both his kids will play sports. This story will go on for another 20 years about LeBron. Steph Curry's son eventually will play sports. His daughters will play some type of sport, volleyball or basketball. And they'll be at a college and everybody like, this is Steph Curry's daughters. Oh, very much so. Tennis. I know a tennis family right now. The guy was working at a tennis. And we're like, dude, you're in your 30s. Aren't you tired of playing tennis? Aren't you exhausted? He's here in Austin. And he was like, I might leave and go to tech, y'all, because I just can't do this. My body's tired. But he was hanging on because a family had a 14-year-old daughter and they were getting ready to put her in the big leagues. And they needed a full-time travel tennis coach to come with them. And they were dangling it over his face like, hey, man, you can come with us. And we'll pay you about $50K a year. We'll pay for all your travel. And that's all you got to do is make sure she's top shape ready. He wasn't even the official first coach. He was just the guy that was going to be traveling with them, getting paid $50K a year. They're paying for his hotel. They're paying for his food. They're paying for his drink so that he could do what? Play tennis with her and keep her warmed up sports. Y'all think y'all going to play with these kids? No, you're not. You're not going to be able to play with kids whose parents can pay a dude $50K and say, hey, come travel with her as we put her we're going to put her in tennis now. You know, it's time to make her a pro. Like we were talking to him in Austin, like, man, just go get a job. Don't wait on this family. It was a good deal. Not gonna lie, pretty good deal. Look at the Friday night story of Booby after he got hurt. Coaches talked like he was a lame horse that needed to be killed. Yeah. Some of these small nowhere towns, they do not respect the players or their families. And that's how I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna leave that alone. But you got some of these towns, and what's happening is what? They're putting a spotlight and a camera in some of these towns. They're filming how great their kid is at sports because they realize there's no advocate at the school for their child. And their child's getting out of there and they're going somewhere else, and the parents be following. I've watched multiple stories where the kid made it big in football and the family followed behind them and worked jobs so they can be at the school all the time and all this stuff. Trust me, people do that. That's why Roy Williams from UNC and Coach K at Duke retired. They knew the old ways of thinking were not going to work, so they did. I mean, not even just that, Quentin Jordan. I think they were literally realizing North Carolina wasn't the tipping point anymore. I mean, you basically went to Kentucky, you went to UNC, or you went to Duke. If you wanted to play basketball in the NBA, that's where you went. Syracuse, Kentucky, UNC, and Duke. And every time, you hit the Final Four, every Final Four was Kentucky, UNC, Duke. You had Gonzaga, all right? That started coming up out of nowhere. You had Syracuse, New York, and one other school. And those were like, your kid want to play basketball? He want to be in the NBA? He need to come here. They lost that, right? When you start having teams in Texas win, you start having teams in California start doing well, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. North Carolina had lost the tipping point, right? We used to be considered an actual basketball state. We're just a basketball state. No, we're not. We're in North Carolina State actually has a football team. Coastal Carolina, East Carolina, Appalachian State is beating big name teams. The board is shaking. So you don't have to uproot your life and move all the way across the country to go to the school because it's the school. You don't have to go to Alabama just so you can sit on the bench at Alabama for 4 years. No. You can go to some other smaller school and get some shine, have a good time, make some money. You can do that now. You don't have to be so far from your families. Do you know how many families couldn't see them for years because their school was too far away? Man, get out of here. It will be Essence on the front end and the back end, in the sports offices and on the field. There you go. It is. They're doing the sports industry like they did the movie industry. Most, if not all, are nepotism. Yeah, the guy who just played in Dune. Again, I tell you, Meryl Streep has got 5 kids. One changed his name because he was tired of the jokes that Meryl Streep kids get jobs because of who they are. That don't change who you are. You have Denzel's son had the line say his daddy was in jail, all kind of crazy stuff, so he could kind of get his foot in the door. But again, Stephen King's son is a film director. I mean, I can go on and on. There's countless people. Kevin Bacon's daughter has got Kevin Bacon in TV commercial with her dancing in the background of the TV commercial. I'm like, what is this crap? Because it's nepotism. It's nepotism. Simple, plain and simple. My friend's son plays for a top team in Spain. A private coach trained him for free since the age of 10 because of talent and work ethic. Yeah. Think about that. You latch yourself on to a kid who's 12 and you show that family, hey, I can get you guys out here and get this kid famous. Parents are like, yes. They're going to do whatever that coach say. They're going to be on his team for whatever agent he pulls to them, whatever marketing person he pulls in, whatever PR person. This is why I say that foot in the door, we should have our foot in the door first. You guys are in neighborhoods seeing these kids. But again, yeah, they were very old. Like, I mean, again, Roy Williams and them are like every day, like for years, they just do this over and over again. They're tired. They're probably very tired of it. UCLA, Georgetown, UCLA. Yeah, the same. You basically heard UCLA, Georgetown, Kansas, Syracuse, UNC, and Duke. I don't remember any school. Somebody said Michigan. Yes, that was the 80s, 90s. It was Michigan State, right? And then Baylor started doing it now. It don't matter where you go now. If you talented, it don't. All right. I never knew anything about the Portland Trailblazers till my significant other brought them up. And this kid is like uber talented. People are like, yeah, you should come on these other teams and be on these other teams. He don't have to. He's super talented. He can go anywhere he wants. He can stay right there in Portland till he don't want to play basketball no more. Because that's the table we're into. He said, got in tech because I'll be damned if my daughter is not in the top tier or whatever sport she chooses. Top tier, or even certain colleges are only worth going because of the people that are there. Texas is actually a basketball state too now. That's kind of weird. Yeah, but it is. East Carolina, we were big. We are a baseball school, actually. We're not even like we do football great for 4 years, then we do terrible for 4 years, then great another 4 years, then terrible another 4 years. It's weird. George Mason, yeah, used to be a big basketball school, right? So then East Carolina, we've been sending at least 30 kids a year to play in baseball leagues. And so I brought this up, and somebody was like, "Oh, your school's nobody." I said, "Then tell me how come every year for the past 4 years, 30 of our kids go play baseball, professional baseball? That's not happening at most schools. You're not getting 30 kids off a roster every year. Your schools are not that school." And so the guy kind of had to back up and no, I'm like, this is just numbers. This is just numbers. This ain't even us arguing about the quality of the players, what I think of them. This is just basic numbers. East Carolina can produce 30 kids that go into a professional sports league every year. That means you're only taking one or two from other colleges. That means that school gets to say, hey, listen, past 4 years, we've sent 30 kids up to play professional sports. You can come play here, or you can go be at your school where they ain't took nobody to the pros in years. That kid out of Iowa, that kid out of Wyoming, that kid with the arm out of Texas is like, yeah, I'm going over here. I'm out of here. I'm going over here. All right. I'm glad to see sports introduced the American way. I mean, it is what it is. Ericka, the high school transfer portal is huge in Florida. I get messages every day about changing my son's school to prep, but he's already in one. There you go. How do you think TV is going to adapt to the shift in schools, change in recruitment strength? TV, you're going to have, I mean, again, TV right now is just in a state of like, they're throwing everything at the wall. They're hiring movie actors to be on TV. They're hiring people. They're doing everything they can to they're pulling people off YouTube and putting them on the Food Network and the Travel Channel. So I would not be surprised if you start seeing some of these schools do all kind of stuff for money as far as these kids and colleges are concerned. NFL is already nepotism for sure. Blue bloods, yeah, basically. You're going to start going to places and it's blue bloods. It is, Katrina. It's the craziest thing. We kept pulling, like we would every year. They'd be like, "We got to recruit 30 more kids," and I'd be like, "What is going on in East Carolina?" Every year they'd be sending out these emails. We're raising money to recruit kids for baseball. We got to recruit more kids, and every year I'd be like, "Well, how many kids left? How many kids got called up to the pros?" And then I would get an email to be like, 25 of 30 of our kids are in the pros now. And in East Carolina, we're really trying hard to recruit. We're like, what? It was for Katrina, it was like 4 years in a row where every year East Carolina kept getting all the way up. They would get hot too early. And then at the end, they would choke out at the playoffs. And then all the kids off the team would be gone to professionals. Every year. It was crazy. So some coaches are great. Yeah, they're just not great at recruiting. Yeah. I know, saying all kind of crazy stuff. You just have to ignore them. Stephen was the only pro basketball player on his college team at Davidson. They will find you if you can play. Yeah. Here you go. Listen, I got to tell you this. East Carolina has 77 pro football players. Of those 77, 67 were drafted to the NFL. Thank you. I keep telling people, my one of our family friends was at East Carolina when I was there, and he was in a dorm room of 8. All 7 guys in his dorm room got drafted. And it was these dorm rooms that are like 2 beds over here, 2 beds over here, 2 beds over here, 2 beds, and then a bathroom in the hallway, right? That they all share. That's the same. I was across the hallway dorm in a different dorm, same way, same setup. And he tried for the next till he was 34 to be on practice squads, to be on teams. And people be like, man, why you keep trying? Why you keep being on these practice? He's like, man, everybody in my dorm little squad got drafted for the NFL, and I did not. So again, you're seeing people who, again, East Carolina, we the shit, right? Like, I don't think another one of my family members will ever go there because we've just kind of said no because it was just too much of a party environment at the school. But yeah, they put some people up on the boards. If you want to do healthcare, it's good for that too, though. As long as your team gets to the postseason, you will get a lot of exposure, especially NCAA. Yeah, and they can't close the door anymore on the talented. Like TCU had so many people. So many players get in the draft portal after they lost like that. It was embarrassing. But TCU had like all this talent. You're like, what happened? Even one of their coaches got a job somewhere else because they were like, clearly it's not his fault. You guys suck. So I didn't want to make this go too far into like a sports conversation. I definitely want you guys to understand that like the financial industry as it stands right now, we don't teach it in schools. We don't educate high schoolers. We don't educate parents. We don't educate a lot of people. Some people don't even know how to buy a home. They don't understand you can have a 580 and get an FHA on a duplex, and now you're a landlord. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't understand that. So the industry that you'll see, unfortunately, is still going to be just huge. It's going to be a ton of people who are like, I'm a financial blah blah blah, and it's just going to be a huge industry. Now, again, if you're in some of my Facebook groups, I put some of the stuff in there where you can get some of these free certificates. But yeah, like again, this is the business of college sports, BCS. It talks about getting started with NLI for parents and athletes. A lot of the stuff has rules. They try to help you. They got a female college athlete Facebook group. You know, do you need an agent? All these questions that parents should be reading up on. Like your mom's second part-time job should be reading this stuff by state. But I know a lot of them won't. That just is what it is. There is this other one. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see if I can pull it up. They have one about colleges. Let me see. About 65 of the power universities have announced they're going to do some type of partnership so that they can actually help the kids. It's called NLI Nebraska. If you guys know anything about the University of Nebraska Lincoln Initiative, they got a thing called Ready Now. They got a thing called Accelerate, and they got a Husker Advantage. They literally have these programs out here that help you figure out financial literacy, your performance, your all kind of stuff. They are preparing because think about it. If your kid was in Nebraska and he don't want to be in Nebraska, he want to go somewhere else, this is the season to do it, right? Like he don't got to stay here. He do not. So there's a thing called the NLInetwork.com. Please go look it up. It's called NLInetwork.com. It talks about the institutions and resources. They have a database. They have, oh my God, they've got partnerships, policies, programs. They've got things to help you become what? Certified, right? So that you can work with anybody, any kids, anywhere, right? Again, it's going to be a lot of money out here, you guys. I could have better organized this show, but at the end of the day, I want you to understand that there's another thing called activenli.com. Take advantage of the $1 billion industry. The way student athletes are getting paid through endorsement deals. So again, they're helping you set up, right? What type of deal? What a brand deal, a PR brand deal, an entrepreneur deal, a collective deal, right? The average single NLI deal is $1,000. Now, this website, if you guys look at it, a lot of it's for Instagram is what I've noticed. But again, it says invest in yourself and see returns. Activate the NLI tools. You got a social media audit, a one-on-one consultation, online course and certification so you can be ready. I wish I could give y'all so much more, but at the end of the day, these people who are on the edge of helping kids market and be professional on their social media and do different stuff, the people who are on the edge of that, because they're already charging $99 for some of these, get these certifications, right? You need to know contracts and legal and taxation, how to build your identity and brand. Let us help you. It's going to be $99. You need a full social media audit? That's $200. You need a one-on-one consultation? That's $450. Again, the money's going to be out here. Again, I'm going to put this here in the comments. And, y'all do with that what y'all will. I would say share this with your friends. Share this with your family friends who serious about helping these kids or want to be in front of these kids and talk to them. Because once you figure out this youth is they're going to get past a lot of this real quick. Let me see here. The Gators lost a big quarterback recruit because of that. I have a client having his child go to Texas to make that NLL money. He should. Yep. That's what's going to happen. What are the requirements? Our Facebook groups are usually part of our courses. If you've paid for our Facebook group, there's one that's $10 a month. There's over 700 people there. There's one Facebook group. I mean, pretty much every other Facebook group is with a course. So if you're in a course and you have not got in the Facebook group, I would strongly suggest you go to admin@classyclimbers.com, tell him what course you're in and you're not in the Facebook group, and he can work on getting you in there. So Definitely check out the links I've been putting in the chat. I put one in there, but I got to run. I made some good tomato soup, and I want to make sure I can taste it. But you guys prepared. This is a new frontier. I mean, I'll give you an example of two kids who are both like 25. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick. This is Donovan, a developer out of Houston. Right? How to become a land developer. I mean, the dude's got like 30 projects under construction in Houston. The average kid in Houston's goofing off and figuring out how they go to the club and get drunk this weekend. This kid who's 24 is building multiple duplexes, multiple housing. And if you ask some of them how they figured it out, oh, I went to a few events and I learned under some guy and I just got started. That whole I'm 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, I don't know a clue of what I want to do or how I want to get myself together. Man, that's a wrap. You're already segmenting yourself into a different sector of society because a lot of these kids who are paying attention, they're on it. They're on it. Let me show you this girl who went to go be a nurse. You know, we talk a lot of smack about nurses. It's my last one. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go close it up. She became a nurse. She was out of California. Now, you already know California is expensive, right? So she's going to be a nurse where? In Ohio. Why? Because that's the schools that were open. So she's out here. She finds a duplex for 50 something. You know, you from California, you see a house for 125 and 50,000. You're like, what's going on? This is crazy, right? Buys it, right? Use it from the and didn't get a handout from her parents. This is a person who was working a job as a nurse. Got out of school, fresh out of school, working a job. Goes, wait a minute, y'all got houses for 50K out here? Man, I'm gone it. So gets the house. You can go watch her story for yourself. Gets the house, realizes she can buy the next house next door. Now she got multiple duplexes. One she's Airbnb out for who? Travel nurses. Other one she's making more money. Then she wants to buy another one. Again, you can go watch this. 2020, she bought 5 units. Again, I think one was a duplex, one was a triplex. 2021, she bought over 20 units. But they all needed to be, renovated. Of course, this is Ohio. Y'all know what they look like out there. Stop playing. And so then in 2022, she added 9 units to her portfolio. But they were all Airbnbs. Again, go watch this. These are young people. These are people 23 to 25, and they just did the math. She got 32 units in 2.5 years. Now, some of this is through partnership. Some of this is through hard money. You already know the deal. But she was a nurse. She could have rocked the nurse thing and travel nurse thing out the gate. All right? Again, this is lattes and leases. Go look it up for yourself. But long story short, why am I telling y'all this? The information's out there. All right? There's only one Facebook group that's $10 a month. That's the Classy Climb accountability group. The rest of them, they're free with your course. But I want y'all to understand, these kids are getting it at a young age. They will not be doing these long-term hiccup goofiness that we've been doing as adults. And a lot of you can get it in 2-3 years if you want to, too. Same thing with this NLI money. Y'all looking out from the outside, oh, these kids should be grateful and all this stuff. Like, learn how to work with these kids. Learn how to help them. Because a lot of these kids ought to leave college with $100K in their bank. $100K in their bank minimum, getting 10, 20% returns off that money. So anyways, you guys, this is your girl Ericka of Classy Climb blog. We'll be teaching a lot of stuff coming up in the Classy Climb investment way of life, 15 to 30% returns on your money coming up February 9th. We'll have the next update installment of our credit class 1st of February, the second week in February. Then we'll also have our digital real estate update because some of y'all should be kicking butt by now. And then we'll also have our Middleman to Millions update. So this is your girl Ericka, Classy Climb blog. You guys have a wonderful evening.